Welcome back into Wake Up America. Happy Friday. I'm Rob Finnerty. So Hunter Biden indicted on 3 federal charges yesterday, and if convicted, he faces a total of 25 years in prison and $750,000 in fines. For more on this, let's welcome in former Massachusetts Congressman Democrat Barney Frank is with us. We're also joined in studio by senior contributor at the Federalist Benjamin Weingarten and the former Lieutenant Governor of New York and New York Post columnist Betsy McCoy. Great to have you all on. Congressman, I want to start with you and just get your take on how this impacts not Hunter Biden, but Joe Biden. You were a Democrat in Congress for 30 years. Do you think Joe Biden runs again in 2024?
Oh, yes. Look, there is no connection between President Biden and Hunter Biden. In fact, I think this is helpful because I said before, I thought it was a mistake that he wasn't being indicted. The president is, for a long time, committed to serious enforcement of laws that keep people from getting guns who will misuse them. And he should have been indicted before, and I'm glad that he is. And it helps undercut the argument that somehow the fix is in. Remember, there was a supposed deal to not indict him, but that included apparently the view that there would be no future indictments. And when the judge raised that, the prosecution correctly said, oh, no, we're not making any such deal. The only thing I would say is this. People have said, well, how would this be different? I think the record is very clear. If this was happening in a similar situation with Trump, there'd be a pardon. Let's be very clear. Everybody close to Donald Trump who was convicted, not simply accused of a serious crime, was pardoned. And that's a big difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Well, that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. I don't think a pardon's off the table right now for Hunter Biden from dear old dad.
There was no pardon for Biden. Trump pardoned everybody close to him.
Betsy?
Well, first of all, so let me just be clear about what you're saying, Congressman. You're saying you do not believe that Joe Biden will pardon his son or commute his sentence. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. I am absolutely sure he will not pardon him.
And do you think that this indictment yesterday is a cover, like a token to prevent the government from feeling compelled to indict him for failing to file taxes several years in a row, failing to register as a foreign agent, the other crimes for which there was conclusive evidence?
Well, that's like the question, who do you like better, your mother or your father? And there's no right answer. If he hadn't been indicted, that was a criticism. If he is indicted, you want to make it a criticism. In fact, on the crimes of taxes, they did go after him. There was no refusal to indict. In fact, they had a plea there. And that conviction and that, or at least that charge, remains the same. And yeah, I am absolutely
sure. No, he wasn't
sure.
indicted for that. He could be, but he hasn't been.
Yeah,
he hasn't been indicted yet, sir.
He was about to plead guilty, which preempts an indictment. And so now we are in a situation where the criminal charge on not filing his taxes remains live, and he will be charged under that one.
Okay,
and I'm ready, Betsy.
Hold on 1 second, Betsy. So
Betsy, let's make this a test of our credibility. Will Joe Biden pardon Hunter Biden on the gun charge or not? I say no.
Barney, let me just jump in quickly.
You think so? Let's see in a couple of months.
Barney, one of my favorites. So you don't think that there's any truth whatever to the notion that maybe this is all a smokescreen, so Hunter avoids the the tax charge and the FARA, the not registering as a foreign agent charges, because those charges, all of a sudden, he gets indicted on that, and we go to trial, we get discovery, and that will connect him to Joe Biden.
No, the tax charge remains. Remember, he was about to plead guilty on the tax charge. That plea was thrown out because it involved a commitment to prevent any future charges, which they wouldn't give. No, I will predict to you, he will be prosecuted on the tax charge.
All right, let me shift our direction here.
He will be prosecuted on that.
All right, let me shift direction just a little bit. We got about 30 seconds. The question now is, does Joe Biden run with Kamala Harris? And Barney, you know most of the people that we're talking about here. You were in Congress for a long, long time as a Democrat.
Right.
Nobody, Jamie Raskin, Nancy Pelosi, no one is committing to the ticket right now. Whereas 10 days ago, before that CNN poll, which came out last Friday, everyone said, oh yeah, Joe Biden's going to run for president and he's running with Kamala Harris. No one on the left is committing right now. 30 seconds, how do you react to that?
Oh, I think it's a lot of wishful thinking. Yeah, I wish Joe Biden were younger. I wish people understood Kamala Harris' strength. Look, I hope people will begin to talk about Kamala Harris was a very successful prosecutor. She was a DA and attorney general and was accused of none of the weakness and softness. So I am hopeful that in the year ahead, they will talk more about her record. But frankly, the notion that the Democrats would at this point drop one of the leading women and African Americans who's had a great record in public office, it's just not realistic. That's not the way elections can work. So
it sounds like you agree. Maybe it sounds like you agree.
I'll make 3 predictions. Biden-Harris will run again. There'll be no pardon, and there'll be a prosecution on tax charges. Call me in 3 months. Let's see how I did.
You got it.
I like that.
Thanks,
Drop the
President.
mic, Barney Frank. Front and center. All right. Good to see you, sir. Have a great weekend up in Maine. Look forward to having you back soon.